Thomas Sowell explained visually. Please read his books. Please check out his videos on YouTube. But if you're not the book reading type, if you're not checking out his videos, I'm here to break it down for you with visual aids. I've got an entire American History 1 curriculum taught the same way. American History 2, Civics and Economics, quick lessons from books, all broken down for learners of all types with visual aids for students and lifelong learners. Today we're going to focus on Thomas Sowell, but first, subscribe, like, share, comment, youtube.com/social studies games. We're focusing on increasing taxes on the rich. It does not work. Don't go anywhere. Please stop. Come back. Don't go anywhere. Trust me. Thomas Sowell is going to change your mind, and I'm going to give you the visuals to help you understand it. This is part one of several videos. Increasing taxes on the rich, it does not work. I'm not a globalist. I'm not doing. The wealthy have gotten to you, haven't they? The elites, they got to you, man, and you're just trying to. No. There's people out there, there's populists out there that think that we'll just tax the rich to just beyond belief, and that's going to fix all of our problems. It's not going to fix all of our problems. You can't just tax the rich. We'll let Thomas Sowell explain it to you. This is based on Trickle Down Theory and Tax Cuts for the Rich. It's a 13-page book, $5 on Amazon. It's free on his website. I'll give you the link at the end of the video. I'll try to put that link in the comments below. Or you can just watch the video. Let's go over some basic information first. Got ahead of myself there. Taxes. The purpose of taxes is to generate government revenue. Period. Let's all agree. The reason that taxes exist is for the government to generate revenue so they can pay for their expenses. Taxes are not punitive. We have not designed taxes just to punish the rich. Taxes are not a part of your redistributive fantasies. Taxes are designed to generate revenue. So let's look at Plan A. Taxes are designed to generate government revenue. And it seems to make sense that, hey, if the government just taxes people more, that means more government revenue and they can do more things. That is Plan A. Seems to make sense. If you have rich people and you're taxing them at 25%, and then you decide, hey, well, let's take 50% of their money, that means the government will have more money. And that means the government can do more things. It's great. It's awesome. But what about Plan B? Taxes generate revenue. Maybe you can generate more revenue by taxing less. Some people are like, that's it, I'm out of here. This guy has lost his mind. Don't go anywhere because, spoiler alert, answer B is the correct answer. I know it's counterintuitive. It sounds like a bit of a paradox, but hang in there. Through the series of videos, we'll explain how taxing less will actually generate more revenue. We know that if we lower taxes, it's going to increase economic activity. What do we mean by that? Well, when the government takes your money, you have less money. You cannot be as active in the marketplace. You're going to buy less. That means firms will produce less. They'll hire less. It creates less economic activity. But if we don't tax you, if we tax you less, you keep your money, you spend your money, that means firms are going to produce more goods. That means they're probably going to hire more workers. There's going to be more economic output. So we can all agree that less taxes increases the activity of consumers, it increases the activity of producers, and economic output, in theory, should grow. We can all agree with that. That's basic economics. Let's go over some more basic ideas, and this is a big one. When we lower taxes for everyone. Now, this is going to be a perception problem. And this is a perception problem that's already plagued you throughout this video. The people that left, the people that want to leave, the people think I'm crazy. Well, here's the problem. When we decrease taxes across the board, the lowest income, the low middle, the middle up, and the highest of highs, if we decrease taxes for everyone at 35%, we still perceive that as tax cuts for the rich. But I lowered taxes by 35% for people below $30,000, for people below $50,000. And I also did, well, the 35% is going to be more for a guy that makes $1 million. Well, no, it's not. I mean, it's still 35% for everybody. And even if I decrease taxes by 60% for everyone below 50,000 and decrease it by 30% for people above a certain threshold, we still perceive that in our most resentful form, in our natural jealous tendency of it's just tax cuts for the rich. And that's a problem when we talk about the facts. That is going to cloud your judgment. That will prevent you from understanding the facts. And I'm going to do my best throughout this video with the visuals and taking the information that Sowell provides to break through this perception that it's always just tax cuts for the rich. And get away. We have to do our best throughout this video series to step away from our resentful nature, to step away from our tendency towards jealousy and our redistributive fantasies of, well, just tax cuts for the rich, whatever. Anyway, markets. What are markets? Remember, we're laying the background, we're laying the base foundation so that we can understand the idea that tax cuts for the rich do not work. And I apologize if some of this is redundant or too easy for some of the people listening. Let's just go over these basic facts. The market, where investors are going to invest in the next electric car or the next agricultural innovation or a factory that makes some thingamajigger that we don't even know that we need yet, or augmented reality, whatever you want to envision. The marketplace, the free market, where businesses and firms are formed. You can invest in the market. It's high risk, it's high reward, because maybe the next electric car will work. Maybe it'll be a complete disaster. If it works, you will make millions and billions of dollars. And you're also risking your investment. You could lose it all if you invested in HD DVD players and Blu-ray took off. I was all about HD DVD. It's not HD, but it's like HD disc. There's HD versus Blu-ray, and Blu-ray won. If you invested in HD, you took a risk and you lost. If you invested in Blu-ray, maybe possibly you won and you reaped the rewards. But number two, the second part is what we want to focus on, because in the market, you're taking a risk to win that reward. But if you are successful, if you gamble correctly and you win the money, you still get taxed. So yay, I won, but then the government's going to take half of it. And that is an important part of this lesson. It's an important part of why taxing the rich or the highest income bracket does not work. It's all about this tax in the marketplace. You're taking a risk as an investor and you might reap a reward, but also when you win, you also have to give some of that back. That's a problem. The question is, how much do I have to give to the government? Is that friction? Is that going to deter me from taking the risk, this tax? On the other hand, we're going to talk about municipal bonds. Why municipal bonds? Because this is the focus of Thomas Sowell's text, which focuses mainly on economic events and economic activity in the early 20th century. Municipal bonds are the main focus. There are other tax-exempt ways to evade taxes today. There's plenty of them, but for the text and for the key players in the 20th century, we're going to focus mainly on municipal bonds, which are low risk. So you're guaranteed your money, unlike if you invested in HD players or whatever failed business. So you're getting your money back, but you don't win as much. If you gambled on Blu-ray, you won a lot. With municipal bonds, low risk, low reward. Basically, you're loaning money to public institutions to build roads, hospitals, bridges, and they generate revenue by taxing people. That's how they pay you back. But the big part, again, is the second part. It's not taxed. You can gamble in the marketplace and win a lot, but you got to give some of that to the government. Or you say, why take the risk? Why gamble even if I am lucky and fortunate enough to invest in the correct business, I still have to give much of my reward to the government. Whereas in the municipal bonds, I'm guaranteed my money back, I'm guaranteed a small profit, and I'm guaranteed that the government is not going to steal my money. If taxes are very high, money tends to go there. So when taxes are low, investment money goes into the market. People gamble on businesses. They put the money in the marketplace. And I'm using the example of a market here, not just a literal market, but any markets where goods are bought and sold, firms are competing, innovators are creating and competing, and we see output through this process of producers and consumers and competition. When taxes go down, this thing gets juiced up. When taxes go up, an investor says, why take the risk? Even if I'm lucky enough to get the reward, the government's going to take my money. So when taxes get too high, and we'll go through the facts that explain this, we're just laying the theoretical background, which is going to be backed up in later events or later videos with the exact evidence. So right now it's just a priori reasoning, but in the other videos later on, we'll show you the evidence. We'll show you specifically and exactly, oh yeah, no, this is not just a priori reasoning, which in a lot of cases is good enough. We're actually going to show, yeah, no, this is exactly what happened. Taxes go up. Investors say, take my money out of the market. Let's put it in a safe space where it won't be touched by the government. Again, there's a lot of ways to evade taxes today that are completely legal. You can also put money in offshore banks, but the one that we're focusing mainly on are inefficient municipality bonds, loaning the government to these public projects that don't create output like the marketplace would. And so when the money goes into the tax-exempt places, mainly municipality bonds is what we focus on in this video. When it goes there, it goes out of the marketplace. It goes away from the guy that's going to create the next electrical car. It goes away from the next agricultural breakthrough. It goes away from the scientist creating the next revolutionary medicine or drug treatment. It goes away from the guy that's inventing the thing that we don't even know we need yet. But we're never going to know that we need it because it's never going to get invented, because the money went to build another school, even though they built a school last week and they built a school the week before and all the classrooms are empty. Or we'll get another road that's never going to get built that takes us to a place that we were never going to go anyway, and even in the future when we don't even have cars anymore. Anyway, market versus the municipal bonds. When taxes go up, when even if you hit it right in the marketplace, you still lose money because of the taxes. So as you increase taxes, mainly on the wealthy who do the investing, they say, put my money in the municipal bonds, less money in the market. And when there's less money in the market, there's going to be less goods produced. And often firms will need less people working. It hurts the market. But if you do the, and this is where the end, but it's going to create public sector jobs. Yeah, I got the teacher this time. Yeah. Okay. I'll listen to your question. You are right. When taxes go up and people put money into municipal bonds, it will increase jobs in the public sector. But it comes at the cost of creating jobs in the private sector. So first of all, it's a shell game of, well, you could have created jobs here. Now you're creating jobs here. So you're not really creating jobs. But there's a bigger problem here when we pour the money into the public sector. It's because the private sector, the market, is more efficient at creating jobs. The firms that exist have survived through natural selection, survival of the fittest. And they've survived because they make a product that the market wants. And they've also demonstrated that they can do a proper budget and they can spend their money correctly and they can make wise choices. So the market, through competition, public sector doesn't have any competition. The market, through competition and the convergence of producers and consumers, demonstrates that we know how to get the best out of every dollar that we have. If we've got a dollar, we're going to try to make sure that we spend at least 98 cents of that dollar wisely. Now, it might not be that close, but they do their best. And the reason we know that they do the best, because the businesses that don't go out of business, bye-bye, see you later, we don't have to talk to anymore. It's like evolution. Also, they're less wasteful because if you're a business and you go over budget, you go out of business. Maybe you can go over budget a year or two, but not forever. You can't constantly run negative deficits. You go out of businesses. So bad businesses die. Bad investments die. Bad investors die. Bad ideas don't survive in the marketplace. So where would you want to put your money? A place where it has a proven track record, where we know it's more efficient, where we know they have to follow rules, they have to follow budgets. Or do you put your money in the public sector, where it is not a response to the marketplace? Often these roads, bridges, they are political graft. They're decisions of politicians. They're decisions of a majority of a minority of voters. It's not like everybody in the community showed up to vote. Often it's a small minority of the people that actually voted. And so it ends up like, 10% of the people wanted a new school. Well, we ended up with this new school. The market didn't really want this. The market didn't want this road. Otherwise, it would have been built years ago. So it's not really a response. It's often just a decision by a central planner who doesn't necessarily demonstrate that he can spend money wisely. Also, And you know this, these budgets always go over every single time. The roads never get built on time. The schools never get built on time. Actually, they call for 5 more bonds before any of these things ever get completed. And there's no punishment. The market punishes wasteful spending. The market punishes inefficiency. The public sector does not. So yes, you're right. It creates jobs, but it creates fewer jobs. It uses the money that is given to it in a much more inefficient manner. So stop asking stupid questions. Get out of here and stop taking up all my time. We lower taxes, the money goes away from municipal bonds into the marketplace, and you're going to create jobs. Lower taxes will, and we're going to get to exactly why in the videos to come. But you understand the basic reasoning of when taxes are lower, then an investor says, well, you know what? I'm not going to get taxed that much. I'm going to go after this high reward. I was already willing to take the risk. I just didn't want to take the reward and get taxed out the yin-yang. But now, if you're going to let me keep my money, let's go gamble. Let's make this thing work. And some people will get right. They'll create jobs. And that's how this thing works. So to wrap up our video 1, taxes go down. Investors do not hide their money in offshore investment plans. They do not hide their money in tax-exempt places. They do not pour their money into safe, untaxed municipalities. They invest their money. They gamble their money. They put it in the marketplace, and they try to create output. They don't necessarily try to create jobs. They're trying to make money, and in the process, jobs are created, wages increase. When you tax investors too much, they say, I'm not paying those taxes. I'm going to put my income in a place where the government cannot touch it. And I'll just wait until you lower the taxes. And if you never lower the taxes, I'll just keep my money there forever and ever until you squirm. That's exactly how this works. We're going to go into more videos where we'll explain exactly it. It's going to be continued. We're going to get more into the evidence. We're going to get more into the early 20th century debate over this. It's long been decided. And we're also going to get into the political trickle-down nonsense, the straw man arguments. But the fact is, increasing taxes on the rich does not work. Check out video 2. We will get into this. This is Thomas Sowell explained visually. American History 1, American History 2, American History, blah, 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 civics, economics, you name it. I'm not here to rip off Thomas Sowell. I'm here to help learners of all types understand these important concepts by breaking them down with visual clues and visual aids. If I'm helping you, please subscribe to the channel. If I'm helping you, please share with someone that you think, oh, I know someone who could really benefit from this description of why taxes do not help us at all. Don't tax the rich. If you've got that super liberal progressive friend that you want to win an argument with, send it to them. They're not going to watch it, but maybe I'll at least get a click. YouTube.com/social studies games. Thanks for joining me. Check out video 2. I'll get it out as soon as I can. Bye.